Manmohan Singh, who has been the Prime Minister of India from 2004 to 14, passed away late night yesterday. He is a man who is credited with bringing India back to economic health and political stability at a time when the country faced severe financial crisis. The admirers of the late Prime Minister complained that he didn't get the recognition that he rightfully deserved. That's true, but there are a few reasons for that. Ideologically, Manmohan Singh was a right-winger. In the economics. He was the man who promoted private sector. He introduced liberalism in economy, but he was in the company of people who didn't agree with him ideologically. For example, the communists and certain groups in Congress which were against liberalization. So that could be one of the reasons why he didn't get the recognition he deserved, because not everybody took notice of him and his achievements didn't get highlighted even from the part of his own admirers or his own coalition partners. The second thing why he didn't get the recognition he deserves is because he was not articulate. He used to hold press conferences, but at the same time, he lacked the theatrics of a usual politician. That could be one reason. And the third most important aspect is he himself was personally an immaculate politician. But at the same time, many of his colleagues in the cabinet were not so. And there have been a lot of allegations raised against them, especially during the second UPA government. So that were the reasons why he failed to get the recognition he rightfully deserved. Let's analyze the complex personality of Dr. Manmohan Singh. Welcome to Insights. This is Hari Kumar. Let me start with my own personal experience. Actually, Dr. Manmohan Singh was a perfect gentleman. I didn't get many opportunities to meet him or sit in his press conference. But one instance I still remember about his character and his transparency was he visited a tsunami hit panchayat of Aratuvida in Kerala in 2004 December. And I was there as a local journalist. In fact, the PIB, Press Information Bureau of the Union Government, took us to the venue of his visit. And we were allotted a particular place at the venue of his meeting. But there were journalists from Delhi who accompanied him. And they were actually following him. They came along with him. And they came to the site also. We were told that the Prime Minister will interact with us. But as he passed us, he didn't stop to interact with us. Then I shouted, Mr. Prime Minister, we have been waiting for you for long, and we really want to hear your words. We want to interact with you. And this is, then, he stopped suddenly. I was so loud. He stopped suddenly. He asked his security personnel to take him back. He came to us. He told us to ask questions, whatever you want. And I asked him question about, there was at that time, there was a contradiction in the statement issued by, I think, the head of CSIR regarding the head of the meteorology department regarding the tsunami and the Union Minister of Science and Technology. So I asked the question. It was a provoking question. And he replied very calmly, and he took questions from other journalists also. So I remember he was a man without any airs. He was very transparent. He was level-headed, and that was the impression I got. But during press conferences and other meetings, for example, there was an investment meet held in Kochi in 2012, Emerging Kerala. I was there. He presented like a picture of, forgive me, for my being a bit harsh. He looked like as if he was like a statue. He couldn't turn properly around. Perhaps that was because of his health problems, like spondylitis or something like that. But his interactions were not spontaneous at that time. Maybe because of health problems. But anyway, what I said is that he was a very transparent person. But the problem with him was that he was not a politician. And he headed a coalition. That was another great issue. Stalwarts like Lalu Prasad Yadav or DMK politicians and Mulayam Singh Yadav and his people from Uttar Pradesh, they were all veterans in politics. They were all known for their their theatrics, perhaps their stubborn nature. So they are characters very difficult to control. And as the leader of the Congress and the leading party in the UPA, I think Manmohan Singh might have found it very difficult to control his coalition partners. And the accusation or the criticism at that time was each minister created his own fiefdom, and that was a worrying thing. Actually, despite all the good things did by Manmohan Singh, those inner contradictions in the UPA, those allegations of corruption in the UPA, those high-handedness of individual ministers in the coalition, they got huge publicity, and especially during the second UPA government. And there was another factor. The second UPA government took a stand against nationalism. And it created an impression that people who are against the nation, people who were against the armed forces, they got infiltrated in the Congress. So I think that cost him the goodwill of people of a large section of society. And that actually prevented him from getting the accolades or recognition that he rightfully deserved. Still, I would say that the employment guarantee scheme introduced by the first UPA government did a long way in ensuring a second victory for the UPA. And Manmohan Singh, despite all the allegations raised against his colleagues, was never accused of being a corrupt person. He was often accused of being inefficient or inept, but never as a corrupt person. But anyway, he had his own limitations, because he had never won an election. That was a huge problem. He never stood in an election and won a Lok Sabha seat. I think a politician should stand in Lok Sabha polls and then he should win election, and then only he should be given top posts like some, finance minister, prime minister, home minister, etc. Because otherwise he will not be able to control the public, and he may not be knowing the mood of the public also. Manmohan Singh, for 3 decades, he was a Rajya Sabha member. He continuously entered the parliament through Rajya Sabha route. And that was not a great thing actually. Yeah, but he had a great experience in administration, and that stood him in good stead. He started as a special advisor in the finance ministry. Then he became finance secretary. He was the governor of Reserve Bank. He held so many important posts. He knew about the economy of India. I read somewhere that Rajiv Gandhi was actually impressed by his knowledge of Indian economy, and that was why he was appointed as the Minister of Finance. And another aspect was Rajiv Gandhi was afraid to bring in a politician because he knew that he had the bad experience of appointing Vishwanath Pratap Singh as the finance minister, and then he took away all the credit. So I think Manmohan Singh suited the interests of certain Nehru family, and that was why he got the opportunity to become the prime minister. And he did it actually, did a great job actually when he took charge as the finance minister of India during in the PV Narasimha Rao government. India was actually facing a financial crisis. There was a balance of payment crisis. Nobody was willing to extend loan to India. From that stage, he handheld India, and now he led India. He rode out the crisis, and that was a huge achievement. But I think in the coming days, Manmohan Singh will be remembered for his achievements because he already got criticisms for all the faults or weaknesses. Now, in the coming days, he will be eulogized, he will be congratulated, and people will realize the real contribution of Manmohan Singh. Anyway, let's hope his soul rests in peace. Thank you, and meet you with another topic next time. Till then, goodbye.